Okay, we are live. Hey, everybody. This is Nicole with Repair's First Association, the association for the repair industry. If you are a shop owner, oh, bring that down. I forgot to do that. If you are a shop owner and you are not a Repairs First member, let's talk. Okay, just send me a message. The RFA has everything you need. And this call right here, I'm super excited about because you're going to be able to help your customers protect their digital privacy. Now, as somebody who was recently hacked about 2 months ago, and I lost a very expensive gaming laptop that I used on the go for business. Uh, I just wish I would have known about something like this way before. So I'm excited to learn more about your company today on this. It's kind of like a live video session that we do with vendors. Anybody can join. If you guys are watching right now, there is a link below wherever you're watching this. All you need to do is fill out that little form. You're going to get an email with a link and you can jump right on and ask Justin questions directly. So in addition to helping people, which is what we all want to do, they actually can build mailbox money and have their own subscription and basically by working with you guys. So I have Justin with me here. They are a new RFA vendor and they brought something very special, totally unique for RFA members only. So I'm going to let Justin give a rundown and I'll put your screen up, Justin, so you can do that.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. You're exactly right. We actually built this entire platform specifically for the RFA group. After talking with you, Nicole, actually, and being a speaker at the expo, we really sat down and said, look, our background is in protecting the business world. We protect companies anywhere from 5 to 250 employees on a normal day-to-day. But we're really seeing a gap in security from the personal side, the individual side. We saw too many, how do I say this politically correct, too many fake and non-helpful apps out there that says, you need to download this and you need to download that and pay for this and pay for that. And they just didn't provide any real value. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the ads even on TV for the VPN apps that you can download.
Yes.
You're right. And unfortunately, many of those are actually a ploy to get your data.
Oh my gosh.
You've got this VPN that sends all of your traffic to one location. And what do you think is happening there? They can see every single place that you visit and come from and what websites you're visiting. It's actually even easier for advertising targeting with those VPNs because they know exactly who you are and where you're coming from. So we really wanted to cut through the crap, for lack of a better term, and say, look, here's a real solution that can really help people. And so we created this. And ultimately, at the same time, we really said, look, we know that we have a group that has a direct access and direct influence to a lot of customers that they can really make a difference and become really that expert for a lot of their customers that are typically more on, one-off transactions, maybe some recurring business, things like that. But where we can really say, look, become that true expert for them. We'll provide the back end, we'll provide all the true cybersecurity expertise, and you have access to us, your customers have access to us and our team, but you get to create that relationship where you may not have had it before. And also the best part of all of it is make money on a recurring basis. So, you really get to make, Nicole mentioned it at the very beginning, mailbox money. It's my favorite term, where you really don't have to do anything other than having a very brief conversation, maybe at the repair counter or, sending out email blasts, whatever it is to your existing customer base. Other than having that very initial sales conversation, just saying, hey, this is something that we offer. Other than that, you don't have to do anything. The customer can sign themselves up. It walks them through the entire process automatically, setting up the services on their phone, or if they have tablets or computers or whatever it is, it's entirely automated. So all you really have to do is say, hey, you should buy this from us and our partner DoubleChecked, and that's it. You get to make. Go ahead, Nicole.
at the expo. So I wanted to focus on a little bit because you spoke at the expo. I had reached out to you. I seen that you guys were going to be in Miami at the same time our
Yep.
expo was on, and I reached out to you on LinkedIn. I was like, I think that I really love to have you as a speaker. You're considered really out of our industry, but I think you have something that our shops could benefit from. And
Yeah.
this is what the GRE does. The GRE was created by Repairs First Association, and our goal is to really bring things to shops that they really don't see anywhere else, and work with their current partners, vendors that we
Right.
hear every single day. So you were one of those people that are kind of like out of industry. And when you came to the show, 8 shops signed up to be like kind of like a partner. You call them partner. They're not resellers. They're a partner of yours to
Partner.
help the
Yep.
client. And then they're getting $8 per month per customer that signs up, which I think normally is maybe like $3 or something. But if they're an RFA
3.
member, they're getting $8 per month per
Yeah.
customer. And
Yeah.
so being an RFA member, that's a huge jump in the amount of money that you're getting residually. They can still work with you if they're not, and they make the $3 a month, but just sign up as an RFA member. And we're going to go over like some examples of what you could get depending on how many people sign up, all types of things on this call that's coming up here in 10 minutes. All you have to do is complete the form here that I have on my screen. You'll get a link and you join us. You're going to talk to Justin live, ask questions, whatever you want. You do not have to be an RFA member to be on here. We do these for the industry. And so we're just spreading the word about something really amazing. When you talk about digital protection, I feel like more and more and more people are looking for something like this, but you don't know
Yeah.
where to turn for a trusted partner. So I love how you kind of spend this and said, the shop can become that trusted partner instead of just buying. Because do you think I didn't have protection on my devices when I got hacked?
Right.
I most absolutely did, and they didn't work. They hacked my desktop. They were
Yep.
sending me these threatening emails. I'm not even going to repeat what they were saying, but it was totally ridiculous. I know that they didn't
Yep.
have what they were saying they had. It's just no possible way.
Yep.
But they were threatening me, and I'm like, after it all, I ended up just getting rid of the computer because I just didn't trust it anymore. But I went through
Right.
such a headache, and I said, wow, I wonder if people that don't know how to stand up for themselves and they don't understand the digital world, how this could have personally affected them. I see now why some people go off and hear about them hurting themselves because they
Yeah.
got somebody sent them a message saying they have something of them and they're like, oh my God. And I knew better, but at the same time, if they had a company that was local that they could turn to really learn about what does digital protection even mean? Why do I need it? And I really like this because I'm sure there's some shops out there that hear about this through their customers. They come in and say, my
Yeah.
device has been hacked or my computer's been hacked, and they
Right.
can offer this.
And
So
that was the initial feedback that we were getting from a lot of partners that have signed up with us already. Is we keep getting asked this, but we don't know what to recommend. Yeah, there are apps out there, and there's these things, but the shops didn't feel comfortable recommending them, and just didn't know the people behind it, right? I mean, ultimately, if you're signing up for a service, especially something that you're representing, it's important to know what you're representing and what you're selling. And so that's part of why we wanted to do this, introduce ourselves, and we are real people. If you have something going on and one of your customers calls you, you have the ability to call us directly. I'm sure, Nicole, in your situation, you're like, I don't even know who to call. Like I've got this computer and it's messed up. I'm
I
paying for
called
all these
Jeremy, Brad,
security
and
things.
Brian because they're my
Yeah.
partners and I trust them. And I was like, guys, this has happened to me. And then it ended up that a bunch of other people connected to me got hacked, which I felt really terrible about because they
Right.
probably got through my computer. And it was really an emotional time for me because I was like, I can't believe this happened. I have everything loaded on my computer
Yeah.
to protect my computer. And I'm looking at my computer and I can't even use it. They've gotten my mouse. They're putting things on my computer saying message to me. They're emailing me as myself.
Yeah.
And so it was a nightmare. And I went to Best Buy. They were not helpful. All they
No.
wanted to do was charge me to put the software, but the operating system back on. And then they were just like, oh yeah, it's gone. I was like, I didn't even trust them enough to say, yeah, it's gone, And I was
Exactly.
so embarrassed because I'm in, and this is me being very vulnerable on a live right now. I was so embarrassed because I'm in the tech industry, but I didn't want to post it online because it was almost embarrassing to me. And I was
Right.
scared that if somebody who hacked me saw me talking about it, would that give them more leverage? Like
Right.
I was really afraid. I was going through a lot because of the things that they said to me. And so I was so glad when it was over. But if I had someone like you that I could have called into and be like, oh my God, this is happening. Somebody help me, hold my hand. I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
Like, I would have paid for it.
And we get it all the time, all the time, especially in the business world too. I know we're talking about the personal individual side, but we see it on the business side. And it's sometimes it's even worse on the business side, because you're thinking, oh my God, I took down my company, and am I going to get fired and all these things. So it's crazy, but we're just seeing now, we're seeing it's a nameless, faceless game. So many people think I'm too small to be targeted and hacked and all these things, where in reality 99% of these attacks that are happening, they're random. They're just seeing, can I get into Nicole's email address, right? And that's one of the services we provide, is actually dark web monitoring, right? So the dark web is a real thing. It exists.
Yes.
And the reason it's important is because your passwords are likely out there for sale right now for pennies. Sometimes they're not even for sale. They're just out there available. And so we have a solution that actually monitors the dark web for any signs of Nicole's email address, to say, hey, if we see a sign, then the hackers see the same sign. We're going to call you, pick up the phone and say, hey, you need to reset your password, right? We found it on the dark web. Sometimes that happens automatically. If we get a true hit on a password that we know is a password, we may automatically reset your password for you, just so that nothing does happen, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of what we do, is try to be as proactive as possible, and not reactive. Reactive is bad. if we get to the point where we're having to be reactive, then you mentioned the time, right? So many people focus on the dollar amount, which obviously you can see on my shared screen here. We do focus on as well. The average cost financially is about $5,000 right now. If you get hacked, if someone gets into your stuff, just by having to recover, if they get your credit card information, all these things, right? But the real impact is time, right?
Time.
I'm sure you spent an inordinate amount of time going back and forth, and you talked about making phone calls and going to Best Buy and doing this, and then at the end of the day, you ended up getting a new computer and having to set that up, and so we
being afraid. I had to have the internet come out and change the router, and then we did, like, they taught me, like, because to be honest, I was kind of stupid about that. I didn't understand that they could hack through. But I mean, I live in the nowhere. I'm like in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, who would hack through my Wi-Fi? Like, I
and
just
that's
never thought of this
and
kind of
that's
stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing, and unfortunately we see a lot. We are majorly on the reactive side, because unfortunately people don't call us, and a lot of times, until something does happen. And so that's where we're trying to be on the proactive side and say, look, just spend a few dollars. It's so ridiculously cheap to spend a few dollars a month and be proactive. Let's prevent this from happening, so you don't have to go through it. And worst case, if nothing ever happens, it's the cheapest insurance policy you'll ever have, right? So, and at the end of the day, if something does happen, you have real people that you can pick up the phone and call. Obviously, first call being to you guys as their expert, and we give you the tools to answer some of those immediate questions, the easy questions. And then if you don't feel comfortable and you don't know the answer, don't answer it, and just make sure you refer them over to us and our support team,
Well,
or you
this
can
all
pick up the phone and
sounds
call us as well.
really great, because
Yeah,
the shops are, this is a whole other revenue stream. But not just that, they can become somebody in their area that is the go-to when someone is hacked
correct.
or is worried about that, or wants protection. And then they get your team as support for them, so they're not alone as a shop owner with their employees trying to figure this out. So if you guys are watching this, we've got quite a few watchers right now on different platforms. We are streaming on 8 different platforms and shared to over 40 groups right now. If you're watching this, just type in this form, Okay, it's a short link. Fill it out and join the call. We're about to jump over there now in 1 minute, and you can talk to Justin and get set up, get the special deal. If you're not an RFA member, you get $3 a month back to you. But if you become an RFA member, it's $8 a month. You really can build something substantial with that, guys. I mean, really, just really build
really
out something
fast.
that's
Yeah,
really
it's really
quickly.
fast
And
money. Yeah.
yeah, and helping not just get money, but you're actually helping people, which is invaluable. So, all right, Justin, I will see you on the other link. If you guys are watching this, it's not too late. Jump on. We'll also have recordings, and Justin's going to do a bunch of different things with me over the next couple of months. We're going to do special lives and trainings and intensives, and so we've got a lot coming from DoubleChecked, because this is such a hot topic. This customers need this. So, yeah, join the RFA. I'll see you in a minute, Justin, on the other link.
Sounds great. Thanks, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.